Okay, everybody. I hope you were able to bear with us. Sorry if you've been sitting there for a while, up 10 minutes. That's impressive if you stuck around that long. Apologize. We had some technical difficulties for some reason, but it looks like we should be streaming and up and running now. Thank you so much for bearing with us. Sorry for the delay. I'm not going to wait too long since I'm assuming most of you have gotten here now. But I do want to just give a couple of seconds for everybody else to make it and to join us so nobody misses out on anything. This is our first live webinar. We're excited about it and the possibilities about continuing to do this in the future. So we're just really pumped about the opportunities. While you're waiting around, if you're multitasking, which I'm sure you may be, you can follow us on Twitter at YMCloud and then Facebook.com/Youth Ministry Cloud. You can like us. We want to offer you some encouragement, some training, but also, keep you up to date with new features and new options. So today we're just going to kind of give you a tour of the Youth Ministry Cloud, just to kind of, let you know sort of what it does, how it works, and how we feel it can help you, as the busy student pastor, who, regardless of experience, technology expertise, or anything, experience, technology expertise, or the size of your church, we really think this can be a tool that's going to help you. So kind of the agenda for the day. First thing we're going to do is just kind of go some of the basic functions of the cloud, just kind of help you to get started. And some of you, I know you've been doing the free trial, or maybe you've even purchased it and you're not sure how to get set up and get going. We want to walk you through that. The next piece is going to be kind of going the extra mile while working half as hard, just showing you how you can use this for some outreach, some communication, and just how that can just continue to help you in your ministry, but at the same time without taking extra time out of your already busy day and time with family and things like that. I'm equipping your leaders. One of the things we're excited about is with the way this is set up, and you'll see this throughout the thing as we kind of jump around to different stuff. Is that your leaders can help you through collecting data and doing some communication in a controlled environment. But since it's tied to your ministry, you get to see all the information, and so it really is connected. And then Caviar Tools on a $1 budget, menu budget, just kind of showing you some things that we've come across, some things we've been hearing people doing, how you can get some of those high dollar tools that you probably have seen at churches that may be larger than yours, or just have spent more on the youth ministry, how you can do that through our $79.95 one-time purchase package. And then the bonus, taking your data to the next level. We're going to have some time for Q&A at the end. So if you want to post those questions, that discussion at the bottom, that'd be great. But also, just want to kind of show those of you who want to stick around after that Q&A, just some things that we've built and incorporated now that we really think are going to help you take all this data you're collecting to the next level of your ministry and really make it useful, and how the cloud can connect to other things beyond just messaging and taking attendance, but really to promoting your ministry, helping people find you, and discipleship as well. So let's dive right in. If you've ever logged into the cloud, Youth Ministry Cloud, we have, obviously you've got your main page, your dashboard here that comes up, where you can see if you've created any plans in your planner, and we'll talk about what that entails and how that works as well. And then you've also got all these buttons of tools and things like that. So that's all there, and that's all available. Just so you know, we also, obviously, it's built so it's a very responsive layout. So if you want to do it on a tablet, you can. Phone works the same way. And then obviously, of course, we have our mobile app, which is kind of similar to what this view would be. So I'll have this pulled out throughout this, and we'll kind of hop back and forth so you can see how you can work with this in different environments, but also, how your leaders can do the same as well. We have that. So here's the deal. First thing would be, you're coming in, you're trying to get set up. You can go in and you can add leaders, which, maybe where you want to get started. Now, here's the thing with this adding leaders. I want to let you know right up front, as some of you have taken advantage of with us before, we can do an upload for you. So if you're using a system that you're, a church data system or just a former, youth ministry management system, as long as you can get that info out to a spreadsheet to us, I can reformat and do it for the upload. If you can only do a PDF, that's fine too. Just let me know, send it. I can type some things up. I don't mind, investing that time. So we've got this leader view here. If you want to add a leader, because you're going to assume right now you don't have any, it's right here. Very simple form that you can fill out. Obviously, you can do this on the web, or let's just say you want to do it on the app. Looks pretty much the same. You can do it. So whether you're at your desk or, you're on your phone, got free time at lunch, watching a show at night, you can quickly and easily add your leaders in through the info. Now, first name, last name. Here's the thing with leaders, they can, again, log into the system to help you take attendance to message their groups, and I'll show you some of those functionalities later and talk you through a little bit about how that can work. But in order for them to do that, they need an email address and a password. Okay, so that is some required fields in this. Now, if for some reason they don't want to give you that information, okay, or for some reason you just don't have it, you can always go back and edit leaders and update the information later. But if you wanted to, you could set up a fake email address. Let's just say your domain for your church is fbc.org. Okay, so all your emails are that. So if you wanted to, for me, it'd be buckbaskin@fbc.org. So you can do something like that. So it's an email address format, so your leaders can log in if for some reason they don't want to give the information or just don't have it, or you just don't have it for right now. So that's an option. But that's why that's important, is the fact that your leaders can log in and help you with some of these features. And then you can see the other information that's there as well, including if you want to add a photo. If you don't have a photo, it'll pull their initials and a nice little icon, so you can kind of still decide who's who. And then you can see real quickly. So if you're on the web real quick, you need to pull up the info, make a phone call, do those kinds of things. You'll also notice that some of our leaders are leaders and some are admins. So here's the thing. Leaders have limited responsibilities or availability. So they can only see groups that you would tie them to. So if they're one of your Sunday school or small group teachers, they can see that small group or that Sunday school class. They can't see everything. But let's say you've got some high capacity leaders who help you with plan, leading, and putting together mission trips, or or basically work for the church but just do it for free. So they're kind of on a volunteer but work basis. And so you need them to really help you with a lot of different things. Then you could just bump them up to an admin. If you wanted to go in and edit them, you could change that status and do that as well. And then that way they can do that. So that's what those two differences are. So most of the time they're going to be leaders, but if you do have some where they're really running with some discipleship and some ministry leadership, and you think they could help you out with some other functions, you can do that. So this obviously is an accountability thing, because we don't want leaders to be able to just message any kind of kid anytime. So that accountability is in there, for you. But also, the little things like you don't want them to get in there and accidentally delete a group or something like that. So those kind of pieces are there. So you've got the leaders, adding them, all sorts of options. If you need to export them to a spreadsheet or PDF for some reason, you can do that. Now, I want to go ahead and show you the students, because obviously this is what most of us want to do. So you can view students. Now you can see we have a lot of different information that you can put in for the students, and sometimes it can get hard to read depending on the device you're on, or if you don't have your screen maximized like I do. So if you want to, you can choose these columns here, and you can pick and choose what you want to see at that time. So I don't want to see that. I don't care about that. I just need to see phone, email. I want to know what grade they're in and what school they go to. And that's all I want to see. And you can see very quickly, it narrows down those columns, and then you can see exactly what you want to do. So there's plenty of information if you need it, less if you don't. And it's real quick and easy to do and click through. You can see it doesn't take any real technology expertise. Now, that's that. Now let me show you one other thing here. So let's say you're in App View, okay, and I want to go to Students. You're going to notice that it looks a little different here, okay, to where you can do these things. Now, so let's say that you just want your seniors, all right? So I'm going to start typing 12, and you can see it automatically starts filtering it to just be my seniors, my 12th graders, okay? If you had a group name, like we have a group, United, it'll start to just filter by that group. And so that's the nice thing with the app is that you can auto filter. Now here's the other thing. So let's say you want to message just your seniors. Well, you come into the app, you just type in 12th, and then you can message students, and it's going to pop up. You can create a text or an email message, either one, and then you can immediately send that message to that filter list. And so we've tried to make it as quick as possible. Same thing if you needed to create a group of seniors. So you're just getting started. I've uploaded your students for you, but you need them in groups, so you do it by grade. So 12th grade, now my 12th graders are there. You can create a group of just 12th graders. If you need to add more, you can, and you can also add a leader. Okay, if you need to tie a leader to them, and then you can name the group as well. So tried to make things, especially in that app view, because I know apps serve a certain purpose, to where you can just kind of do everything right there. All right. Another option here, you can swipe right if you left if you need to delete, and if you tap them, you can go into the tab. You can go and edit them. Now I want to show you real quick. Added students. It's a lot like leaders, but again, if you've got a group you need to tie them into immediately. So our midweek service is United. So a kid shows up on Wednesday night, and you or leader has this menu pulled up, and you've assigned one leader to have their phone out logged in, or maybe two, as a kind of welcome job at the front door. They can log in, have this form pulled up, and you know they're United. So they type United for every single kid, type in first name and last name. As far as kids go, that's really all you need. But if you want to, you can go get this other info, and obviously it's going to be useful for other things, and I'll show you some of those tools later on. But really, it's just first name and last name. If you want to do a picture, you can just choose it, snap the picture, and it's right there. It's tied to their profile. So it's all in one screen, real simple to use. And again, you can log in and do this, or your leaders can. And what those kids are tied to your ministry. So just because your leader did it doesn't mean you can't see it. You can still log in and see the big picture. And so you can see how you can begin to empower others to help you out without any extra fees, extra costs. We want you to be able to use it. So we're not going to stop you from adding extra students or adding leaders, and allowing your ministry to grow, and allowing, obviously, you to get help and to be served. So I'm going to go back to students here. And so there I'm in that student view. All right. So you can add them in. And again, you can think through how if you are, obviously small ministry or large ministry, it doesn't really matter. You're busy. You're trying to build relationships. You're thinking through your talk for that night, trying to have conversations with parents, your core kids, your new kids. There's a lot going on. So the more you can empower others to do it with you and to help you is extremely helpful. So you can also, again, you can create groups. I showed you kind of in the app view how you can do that, and that same deal with filtering and then creating the group, that works for leaders as well, if you want to do that. But if you want to go in and view your groups, okay, you can do that. They're all here. You can edit them, take attendance, or you can delete them if you need to. Okay, so that's all there. Now, I'm going to sit here, and so obviously if I want to create a group, I'm going to click Create a Group, and then I can go through and I can check all my leaders or none of them, or if, like I said, I can add leader, I can add students to the group, okay, and I can pick and choose which students I need, and then I create the group, and it adds it to my list, and obviously you can add the name. So it's all there. Very simple. You can also do unlimited groups. So again, as much as you need to break up your ministry for messaging, for growth. So if you've got grade levels for small group, you've got your leader groups, you've got one event coming up. So a Disciple Now weekend coming up. And you want to be able to send targeted messages just to that group. You can do that. So, when it comes to creating groups, think beyond just taking attendance and getting rosters, which I'll show you in just a second. Really think too about, that targeted marketing. That's what we kind of think of. We thought about getting the most out of your data. It's great to be able to collect it easily in an app. That's awesome. But then what can you do with it? And what should you do with it? And so we want to kind of offer those a lot of opportunities. So, one of the things to think about is beyond just being able to take attendance and have things traditionally organized, is being able to think for you, how can I do, targeted outreach? Like I can send messages to Disciple Now. I can send messages to my new believers. I can send messages to my kids who took a mission trip because we've got another one coming up and they might want to know. And so just thinking through that kind of, targeted outreach to really, help students grow in their faith and in their ministry and grow and stay connected to your ministry. So that's there. Now, I want to show you something else. I know that a lot of you have to either you like to have paper there because it makes you feel better, and I understand. I'm a digital guy, but obviously there's some things that just make more sense on paper, okay? So there's that one option. The other thing is that I know some of you may have a pastor who says you can do whatever you want to on your midweek as far as collecting information, but on Sunday mornings or Saturdays, we need this. You have to use this, okay? Or they may just tell you, no, you've got to have a paper copy. Well, we give the opportunity to go in here and print rosters. And so you can put in your dates, okay? So I'm going to pretend like we're taking attendance today, next week. Now, obviously, you don't have to do 4, but I typically like to have them done kind of for the month, and then you collect them and you're just inputting them. Okay, and then, oh goodness, help me with the math, right? Is it the 3rd? Something like that. Oops, 03. Okay, so you go in there and you put in those dates, all right? And we're going to say this is for my United group. So granted, that's our midweek, but let's pretend like it's Sunday morning, and for some reason I want to get roll sheets to my to my leaders. So I'm going to submit that. And you can see what happens here. It creates a roll sheet. I've got my nice little attendance boxes, my dates. And then the other thing that it does is if you've got those emails and phone numbers, that's there. So not only can your leaders take attendance, but they also get an automatic contact sheet. And that goes back to me, the idea of getting the most out of things. So you're busy. You've got a lot of stuff going on. You don't have a lot of free time, okay? We understand and we get that. That's why we started doing the things we did, like the Youth Ministry Toolbox, like DiscipleNowCurriculum.com with the all-in-one kind of package. We get you're busy, and a lot of times you don't have even maybe an administrative assistant or anything. And so you want to be able to get the most mileage out of stuff. So with this, you're getting to add your kids, you're getting to take attendance, you're getting to do messaging, but you're also getting to give your leaders tools that can help them partner with you in ministry and be better leaders. Because, a lot of times, we're entrusting our leaders with a lot as far as the discipleship, the growth of our kids, and the growth of our ministry. And so this is just a quick, easy way where they can go through and see, hey, okay, so-and-so didn't show up today. I'm going to shoot them a text message really quick or shoot them an email. Whatever the case may be. But anyways, you can create these rosters, you can print them. If you want to do it for more than one group all at once, you can. So if you had, 8 small groups on Sunday mornings, you could create all the rosters at once, print them. It'll break the page at every new class. So everything's all set up there for you to where you can do that quickly. Now you may be thinking, well, what if I'm doing it on paper, but I still need the information in the cloud? Well, here's the nice thing. All of our attendance in the system is just tied to the date, okay? So you could go back and take attendance and just put the date in. So let's say today you had an event, you took attendance on paper. Well, you could go back in tomorrow and still put in today's date and then take your roll sheet and sit there and mark attendance and submit it, okay? So even though you're submitting it today, it's tying it to the date the event happened. So you can still use paper to either help yourself feel better or please whoever you're answering to, because we need to do that. We need to be good servants and respectful, right? And so we're doing that. But at the same time, you're going to use the system that you want to use and the system you enjoy and the system that gives you a lot of empowerment as far as knowing what's happening and being able to track things and your ministry's growth and your kids' growth and maybe some areas you can improve. So just kind of want to let you know that that's there as well. So if you're using paper, you can still go back and put everything into the system just that way. And again, it's all about that date. So you could take those rosters and go hand input them if you wanted to, or if you had a leader that could help you, administrative assistant, fellow staff member, whoever. There's all those sorts of things. Now, the other thing is, while you're in the system, if you need to add a student to the group, you can do that straight from here. So if, for example, it's Sunday morning and you want to do attendance digitally, okay, you can do that. So your leaders could log in, pull up this attendance screen, okay, and do that. So, for example, granted, I'm in leader mode. I'm in admin mode, so it's going to look like I have all these groups. So let's pretend I'm a leader of all these groups, and I need to take attendance for United. So as a leader, I can log in, I can put in that date, and I can go back in there, and I can check roll. Now, let's say they forget somebody. Well, remember, it's tied to that date. So they could go back in and, Jeff shows up late, or they just missed Jeff. Well, they can go back later, and as long as they put that date back in, they can then submit Jeff, and it'll tie it all together into all your reports and everything like that. So you don't have to worry about them missing someone. Now, let's say someone messed up. They just didn't put the date in or something, or you're a little worried. Like you're going, I know they forgot to submit so-and-so. Well, you could go do it for them, or, contact us. We can kind of go into the back end and clean some things up. Because we know, this information is important, not because it's about numbers, but it's because, every single one of these numbers represents a life that, needs to experience life-changing Christ so they can turn around and become a life changer. And so we want to be committed to helping that and go, we want to be intentional about every single kid that walks in the door of our ministry and walks in the door of your ministry, so we can make sure that this generation is being reached for Christ. So just know there's some safety nets in there. Obviously, you can filter it if you need to go find them, if you've got a lot of kids in there. So a lot of great features built right in. This one's the same way, okay? And so you can do taking attendance. Now, we have a lot of different reports. I won't show them all to you today because, of time, but I want to show you one. So we have this data visualization report. And so what happens is this is a quick report you can pull up where you can see your student to leader ratios, student status breakdown. So we have 100% visitors right now. We might need to either, one, go clean up some profiles, or go, hey, why aren't our kids taking that next step? Why aren't our kids taking that next step to be members or to be active or to be disciples? Because those are the statuses we have for right now in there. And so we kind of see visitors as that first one, members as that next step, active as they're fully committed to coming, and the disciples is obviously not just they come to know Christ, but that they are in that discipleship relationship with someone and growing. And so you can see that status breakdown, and you kind of see where do we need to do? Because, you can have 100 kids coming every week. That's awesome. But what are those kids doing? Are they growing? Are they, again, taking next steps? These are some things you want to think about, okay? You can see total students. You can see for the past, year, 6 months, we weren't doing good. 3 months, for the past month, though, we've skyrocketed. So you can see those kinds of things. And then you can also see recent attendance of leaders and students for the past, I think it's for the past times you take attendance, so the past 4 events, basically, that you've had. And then again, recent just total attendance numbers walking through the door. Now, this is for you so that you can have a quick and easy view, but you can also export to PDF because, again, we understand that you may have, a pastor you're answering to. You may be the middle school or high school minister, and you've got a student pastor over you. Or you may just have parents, deacons, elder boards, youth committees that need to see or want to know this information. They want to know you're doing your job, or they want to know, hey, we're excited about the ministry. We want to see what's happening. We want to see how we can help you grow. And so you can do this monthly, weekly. You can print this out. You can hand them to them, or you can download and email it to them if you wanted to, whatever they prefer, or if you've got a meeting. And you can sit there and really quickly and visually show, hey, what's going on, and here's how we're growing, and here's how we're improving, and you maybe even go, what, I can see clearly I'm struggling, but guess what? I've got a strategy for how to fix it. And so you can do those things. So I want you to kind of see that data visualization. Now, we have other reports where you can run roster queries and things like that, and different types of deals if you need to, just print out a roster of your ministry with specific information for different people. And I'll show you some of that in just a moment. But I want to show you something else. We built in mailing labels here, okay? So here's the thing. Again, you've got all this information in. You've maybe been using the app because you like it and it's easy to use. And so you want to, but you want to know what you can do with it. So you can come in here and put mailing labels. So I'm going to pretend like for my seniors, I want to do a college event. I want to help them with how to get into college because that's a big step and that's an incredible ministry opportunity because if you remember everything that goes into going to college, it's a lot. And if you've never done it before or haven't done it in a while, it's a lot to remember. And so you want to do that. You want to have lunch and say, hey, parents, we're going to have you up here for lunch. We're going to talk you through, how to fill out a FAFSA and what colleges are available. And maybe even you bring in an expert from the school district in your community to say, hey, but let me explain to you, there's also, trade schools or some kids can be entrepreneurs. So you're going to say, I want to print to the parents of, so that tags that to the label. I'm not worried about breaking it down by gender, but you can see you've got all these options. You can also do it by attendance. So if you want to, do it for absent kids, okay? But I want to send all the seniors of my United group. So I'm going to do the United group because that's our largest, that's our midweek. We do a lot of outreach there, gives us a chance to reach out to families too. So all my seniors at United, I want to do that. And so I'm going to generate labels and it's going to turn them out right into a PDF. And you can see I've got to the parents of that kid, the mailing labels there. And so again, you're maximizing that data so that you're saving yourself time, but you're also growing your ministry opportunities. And so we just want to know that that's there, that we're really trying hard to think through you as the busy student pastor. What can we do to lighten your load, increase your opportunities, and increase your ministry impact? Because, it doesn't take a lot or hard to look to realize that, we've got a lot of work to do as far as reaching this generation and their families. And so we want to make sure that we're all being intentional about doing that and that you've got the tools in place to make that possible. So mailing labels are there. Obviously, you could just do it for your whole ministry if you're going to camp or something like that, and print one for every kid. But again, I wanted you to see you can do it targeted for specific purposes and for specific reasons. You'll notice that one kid's information is missing because obviously their address was there. So, keeping those profiles up to date and things like that, that's really important. Now, we talked about, again, going the extra mile while working half as hard. You've seen that in some ways about how you can reuse your data, but I wanted to show you in a couple of other forms as well. For one, you saw that planner when you first came in. So we gave you this ministry planner, and honestly, my initial thought for it was, hey, I want you, let's say you want to, teach from an outline or just brainstorm something about your ministry, and you're going to be logging in a lot to check your data, and I want that right there in front of you with having that opportunity. And that was the big part, okay? But the other thing is that we have a truly now shared planner, okay? So, for example, volunteer meeting, all right? So this could be just an outline, all right, for you. So you've got a volunteer meeting. You can add this as a plan, and you can sit there and you can type in and you can do those things and just kind of see, hey, what's going on. And this is also available in the app if you just need to, type some quick notes, but you want it tied to your ministry and not everything else that's going on in your life. All right. And so these are some things that you want to cover, okay? But you've also got different options here. So for example, I'm going to go add a plan. Okay. And this is going to be United Small Group Questions. Okay. So you've finished teaching, or like you're going to teach a sermon and you've got some questions you need to get your leaders. You could print the half sheets, okay? Nothing wrong with the half sheets. We love the half sheets, all right? But what happens? One, that's time of printing and cutting. But two, that's paper. And if you think about it, and this is just the way I look at things. Sorry, I'm going to get a little out there probably for a second. I'll try to keep it limited. But, if you think about it, paper is money, right? And money is an opportunity to impact others. So, you think about the needs in the world that you're trying to meet as a ministry. If we can find ways to cut costs at different places, that opens those doors to be able to continue to do that, to meet the needs of our community and across the world. Okay, I'm back. No more sermon. So, you've got a small group outline, okay? So, what is the meaning of John 3:16? Okay? 2, who around you needs to know Christ. All right. And so I know all these things are based off the sermon that I'm teaching, the lesson I'm teaching. And so I want to do that. Now, here's the thing. You can share this with groups. So if you've got a group for, United leaders, okay? So you see I've got my 419 leaders. I can share this with them so that they can either view or I can share it so that they can actually edit it. And what happens is when you do that, then that actually populates on their planner. And so when they log into the cloud, they pull it up on that main page and it's going to sit right there. And it's going to have those plans also that have been shared with them on their planner. Or if they go to the actual planner page, and then they can pull those up. And so you can sit here and type in your small group questions. If you do have a meeting agenda that you want them to have, you can do those things. And then, like I said, it's truly shared. Now, what happens when it shares, if you share a plan with someone, it also sends them an email. So that full plan is populated in an email. So let's say you have a student band, and then you want to share it with that group or those students. So you could type in the plan of the set list of, hey, we're going to intro game, 3 songs, announcements, 2 more songs. So you could do all that, type it in there, share it. It automatically emails them that detailed full HTML plan if you need to highlight, change colors on things. All that stuff's there. So you're going that extra mile of sharing information with your leaders, your students, with not a lot of extra work. Plus, it's right there in your deal. So also, if you went back, let's say you went and edited it, and you saved it, it's going to alert those leaders that, hey, or those students, hey, something's changed. You might want to go check this out, or here's the new information. So just want to let you know that. Now, here's the other thing, the communication part. So we allow you to send unlimited email or text messages, okay? And so you can type in those emails. You can type in those text messages. We also allow for picture text. So if you want to send a picture message to them, you've got a graphic from a sermon or whatever the case may be, then you can do that. And so So you can do those things. So you got the option for email, text, or picture text messages to be able to communicate and connect with your kids, promote your events, disciple, not necessarily disciple, but, give them those little tools of spiritual growth along the way. Even if that's you put a link in the text or the email to another resource. So you've got those options. But you can also schedule it ahead of time. So you can tell them, hey, you know what? This is when I want this to go out. So let's say maybe you've got, Monday's staff meeting, but Tuesday you've got some downtime, okay? So it tells you what time it is right now on the server so you can do the math. So for example, right now this is 2:09:50, so I know that's my time, okay? And so I'm good. I don't have to do extra math. But if you needed to do the math, you can. And you can tell it what time and what day to send, all right? That is obviously year, month, day, hours, and minutes, just to kind of help out. I know sometimes when you get that day and then that military time, it gets a little confusing. So you can tell it what time to send, set the subject, set your recipients of parents, students, leaders, groups, whatever the case may be, okay? You can set those, and then it'll store it, and it'll schedule it, and it'll send it out at that time for you. You can also personalize the emails. So if you see this percent first, if you want the first and last name to populate in the email from the database, you can do that. And so again, if you type percent first, percent last, or parent first, parent last, their names will actually pull from the database. And so it would say, in my case, hey, Buck. So you get that personal touch in there. But again, you can schedule it so that I get a lot of times, we all know that communication is important, but life happens. And so sometimes we miss out. We don't have to feel guilty about that. But this way, you don't have to miss out as much. And you get to take that step in that of being able to, communicate, reach out to your kids, let them know they were thought about, loved, cared for, all those different things. So we also have Facebook and Twitter posting. And so you can connect your accounts, be it your Facebook or Twitter, type the message. You can check them. I haven't connected to Facebook because, we primarily use Twitter with our students. Now some are coming back to Facebook. So you got to know your kids in this area. Are they using Facebook? Are they using Twitter? But just know that possibility is there. So just know that that's there, and you can type in that message. And the nice thing is you check the box, sends it all from one place, and you're good to go, and it populates that. So, while you're here and you're working on things, you're communicating kids, all that kind of stuff. Now, the next piece of this. So you can schedule those emails. Again, you can schedule the texts as well. So if hey, for the next, month, I want this series of texts to go out every Wednesday to promote my midweek. And I know tonight we're talking about this. The next night, you can plan a month out or a year out in advance if you want to. And it's all taken care of for you, and you don't have to worry about it. And you're doing it in the time that you need to. And then you devote that other time for the different things, be it family or whatever. But we also have our follow-up system. You can set up some follow-up emails or follow-up texts. Now I'm going to do text. Now you can go back and edit these. So here's what you do. You title it. Okay? So I'm going to title it New Students. All right? And you can do this for different things. You can tie this to students who are absent in a certain group. Okay? So when a United Kid's absent, I want this email to go out. When a 12th grade guy is absent, I want this text message to go out. But you can also do it off of status change. So new visitor, new member, new disciple. So when someone joins the church, this series goes out to them. When someone gets saved, this goes out to them. When someone visits for the first time, it goes out to them. So I'm going to do new visitor. Okay. Then you set the delay. So the delay from when they were added. So our midweek is at 7 p.m. All right. So obviously I don't want to send them something in the middle of the night. So I would set the first delay, I'm going to say for about 13 hours. That's before our school starts. That's about 8 a.m. It's before our school started, but I also know their wait because school starts about 8:25, 8:35, depending on the campus that they're at. Okay. So I set that delay. All right. And then I send the message, hey, it was great to meet you tonight. All right. So you can then do that for a second message. So, another day later, I want 37 hours later, okay? Because again, it's all tied to that initial event. So the event being they were added into my system and they are a visitor. I want this series of messages to go off. 37, praying for you today. Have a good one, Okay. Now, obviously, you can think through what you want to type and make it better. You're going to notice these character limits on any of our texting. That's because some carriers have a firm character limit. Okay. And to where they won't let the message go through if it goes over that. So we're trying to make sure your messages all get through. The other thing is, if you don't see a carrier on our list as you're adding yourself, leaders, or kids, let us know. We can add those in for you. Okay. So that possibility is there. So you're doing that. All right. And then, I could do up to 5, but I think I just want to do 3 from the time that they visit. So a week would be, let's do 6 days, 144 hours is that. Okay. So that would be 7 p.m. the night before. Okay. Again, sorry. Got to do some math. We're trying to make this as easy as possible, but there's going to be a little bit involved. So that's 144. That's the number of hours of delay. So this would be 7 p.m. the night before United again. Okay, so 6 days down the road. I want to say, hope to see you at United again tomorrow. It starts at 7. Bring a friend. Enjoy some free food. Okay. Oh, I ran over, so I've got to decide. All right. So I'm going to go with come enjoy some free food because I'm thinking, okay, they're still a visitor. Yeah, I want them to bring friends, but the main thing is getting them connected. All right. So I adjust my message. I schedule that follow-up. Okay. And that goes into the system. Okay. Now, so I have this strand that I can edit or I can delete later if I want to, rename it, something like that. And what's going to happen is that every time a kid comes, and becomes a visitor, all right, and I add them in for United, they're going to get that series of messages sent to them that first time they visit the church. Automatically, they get that series of 3 messages. Now, I'll tell you the truth. At first, I had a little bit of pause because I was like, that seems kind of cold to automate that. But here's the thing. Whether you're in a small church or a large church, life's going to happen. And even if you have the best intentions or your leaders have the best intentions about we're always going to follow up with our kids, it's not going to happen. I also teach an adult life group or Sunday school class at our church. And we always talk about we've got to do a better job of follow-up and outreach. And sometimes, it just doesn't happen because, again, life comes on. Now, used to, wasn't a big deal, right? Because that kid's probably going to go find a church somewhere else. But there's a good chance, depending on where you live, that a lot of those kids are coming and their parents aren't. And for a lot of those kids, that may be the one shot they have at getting connected to the church and coming to know Christ. And so we don't want to take that risk because, again, there's a lot of things going on in the world and the stakes are high. And so we want to make sure that every single kid feels welcome, every single kid feels loved and reached out to. And so that's what this is about. It's about automating that so that we make sure that every single kid knows that they were welcome and loved and feels connected to your ministry. And then obviously after that, you can still call them, email them, have leaders do it as well. But this is just kind of that safety net in there to go, you know what? I don't want to take a chance on someone missing out on knowing that we thought about them and knowing that our church cares about them. And so that's what's there, okay? Again, you can also delete it. It goes away. If you need to change it or do it, you're done with it. All right, so just a little bit of idea of the follow-up system. Again, you can use that for absent kids, new kids, kids who get saved. Maybe you want to send a series of verses off and go, hey, go check this out and read this. Or, read this verse today. Or just, hey, come, we've got a new members class on blah, blah, blah night. Whatever it may be. Those options are in there for you, okay? Now, here's the other thing about this, equipping your leaders. All right, that's kind of another piece of this as well. Again, be it the app, which I'm sure a lot of them would want to use, or the website version, they can go in and log in as well and be able to do different things. Now, there's a couple of things you can do for them, though. So I'm going to go to groups. I'm going to view groups. Okay. And then I'm going to go to United, and I'm going to edit/view the group. Okay, I want to see them. So here's the deal. You can pull up this group. Now, they could do this, but obviously we still want to serve and help our leaders as much as possible. All right, so I'm going to export this to PDF. You get an automatic report here that you can print for your leaders to where they can have this contact sheet of a picture. So when they show up on Sunday or during the week, they can start memorizing who these kids are so that when they show up, they know their names. All right, so maybe you've got a greeter team at your midweek or your Sunday mornings, okay? Or again, maybe it's just a Sunday school or small group teacher, and you want to say, our challenge is we want to know every kid the second they walk in the door. So you do this upload, and they spend this week connecting names and faces, and then they show up, and bam, y'all are knowing names. That is huge. That is huge to know names. I have to confess, in years of being involved in this, names is one of my weaknesses, okay? I am sad to say that I had a group for a good while. I had them for 4 or 5 years because they kept coming after they graduated high school. And honestly, for the first few months, I didn't know all their names. And I'm ashamed to say that. Now, we had great relationships, and they still come back and see me, and it's awesome. But, unfortunately, names is a weakness. But that shouldn't be an excuse, especially when you've got an option like this, where, again, you can tie that name, that face. But also, they get this contact info. If you've got the parent info in there, they've got that as well. If they want to reach out to the parents to let them know, hey, we're going to be doing an event in my house, have some barbecue. We're going to watch some football or a movie or play some games, have a game night. And I just want you to know, hey, this is where I live, this is what it is. If you've got questions, please let me know if you've got concerns. And so just know that option's all in there. Again, if they want to mail them a postcard, a birthday card, whatever the case may be, okay? So all that info's in there available for them, and it pulls up. And again, that's just a click of a button. You print it. You can give those tools to your leaders. Now, we also talked about them taking attendance for you. So again, let's say we're in here. They can come up, pull this up, put in the date. So again, we're going to pretend like it's today. All right. And then they can sit here and they can either do it once, all right, or every time a kid walks in, they can go and pop out in attendance, and it's not going to matter. Once they submit it, it actually stores that date. So I don't have to keep typing it in over and over again. It's there for the time being, at least for that session. So they can sit there and they can take the attendance for you. It all populates back to your visualized data, your reports that you run, all those kinds of things. All right. Sorry, I know this is taking a little longer than we said, but there's just a lot of things we want to make sure you see. Again, they can help you with adding students in and check-in. They have the opportunity to add those students, put them into groups for you, and do all those kinds of things. They can do outreach, again, for their group only. So as a leader, I can log in and I can send a group message, email or text to my kids. So there's some accountability in there, so you don't have to worry. We love our leaders. But we also have to be smart and as student pastors and as leaders and volunteers. And so they can message a group of kids. So if they want to send a group email or text out every day or every week or something like that, they get that option. So you're equipping them with some of the tools and resources that you have so that they can help your ministry grow. We're helping hold them accountable to be great, truly invested leaders. All right. Now, resources. You can also, you've got that planner. Okay. So if you wanted to push out different things for them. So you've got an outline of a great Bible study that you want them to kind of walk their kids through maybe sometime at an event or a hangout and say, hey, we want you to have one fellowship a month, but one of those fellowships, one of those months, we want you to do this little discipleship study. Well, you could put that into the planner, share that plan with them. They can pull that up, and then they've got the study and the outline right there. You didn't have to print it. You didn't have to make copies. If you give them editing rights, they can go in there and edit and type and take their notes and do those kinds of things. And so it's really great that you can be able to do that, be it outlines, discipleship materials, training things. You could be like, hey, here's in the planner, just type up, hey, here's a little quick training with a link to a video on, how to encourage your kids and how to do, follow up. And so you're training your leaders in a real quick and easy way. They pull it up when they have the time and they can do those things. So just know those things are there. Now, Caviar tools on $1 menu budget. I promise that. Now, one of the things is again, it's those mailing labels. We've seen a lot of expensive systems. We've had to use some of those. They weren't always user friendly. And we wanted some simple things like mailing labels, and we couldn't do it. And so we were like, well, let's build some mailing labels. And so it took about a day and built them out and had it ready to go. So there's some of those tools like that. And I share that again just to say, hey, if there's some things that you wish you had because you're for whatever reason in your ministry, you have to do certain things, take attendance a certain way, whatever the case may be. And you need something, let us know. We love building and adding those things. A lot of our features have come in because people like you who are in specific ministry context said, hey, I've just got a need. And it would make my life so much easier. That's how picture texting came up. Somebody had a curriculum and they said, hey, I've got these outlines. If I could send a picture message while I'm teaching, that'd be so perfect to all my kids. And so we were like, that's a great idea. And I bet you're not the only one. So we built it out and it's there. And so we love doing like those things and we want to continue to do that. But I want to show you something else. The check-in, I want to show you how many of you have probably seen either in your children's ministry, your student ministry, or whatever, or other churches, a check-in kiosk system. And those aren't cheap, okay? They're not. But for $79.95, our system will allow you to do that. And let me show you how it works. Again, You can do this in desktop mode, okay? So I'm going to do it over here too. All right, so I'm going to take attendance over here. All right, or tablet or phone, but I think you'll see the best thing is with these two. So let's say you have a tablet, all right, and you just set it up on a stand or in a case, okay, with a keyboard, so it kind of stands up like a computer, and you just have this set up, okay, at your ministry, and it's connected to your Wi-Fi, or you can use your phone as a hotspot. Most phone carriers have updated a lot to do that. It uses very minimal data. You won't probably use 10 megs for the night, okay? And so you can set that up. You go ahead and have the attendance date typed in because, you don't want kids to have to mess with that or leaders. And then what happens is they can come in here and either maybe you've got to check in attendant that goes, hey, what's your name? Oh, your name's Jeff? Let me type that in real quick. Check in Jeff. Hey, Jeff, thanks for being here tonight, okay? You click them. You submit that attendance. It pops up. It's added. You can see the date's still there, okay? Now, same thing here. Again, hey, Jeff, what's up? Check in. So let's say you have a laptop the church has provided you, okay? Or you've got a tablet. You can use those. If you don't, you can get the Kindle Fire tablets for like $50 right now. They're not incredible tablets, but they're affordable and they're going to do the job. And so you can have them set up. I don't know if y'all are familiar with Chromebooks. They're basically laptops that run Google Chrome. It just looks like you're in a full computer environment, okay? They're great. And you just log into your Google account, and then guess what? For $250 to $250, depending on which Chromebook you want, you've got a full laptop, and you can have that set up there as well, okay? So you can have a couple of Chromebooks, a couple of Kindle Fires, or the devices that you have, or if you've got leaders that said, hey, we've got 3 tablets at our house. We're there Wednesday night anyways. We'd love to bring them, let you use them for your kiosk system. And then you pull it up, and you've got a check-in kiosk system where kids can come in, and they can go in there and do that. Or if you need to add them, you can click add. You can take care of that as well. Now, the other thing that you could do is, and this is just an idea, so you've got laptop set up, tablet set up because you've got a laptop and an iPad and you want to have 2 check-in kiosk systems that your kids are going into and they're checking into, all right? And they are, again, greeted by name and being added in and checked in and being welcomed. And then you've got a leader or maybe 2 leaders who have their phones. And when someone says they're not in the system, they go, hey, come over here. Let me help you add you in. What's your name? And so they're sitting there on their phone, they're typing in, they're getting to know the kid. So not only are you getting information and data, but you're also building relationships. Kids feel welcome. And you can get the full professional-looking system with all the capabilities. And again, for only $79.95, plus the usage of the devices that you or your leaders probably already have around. And so that's one of the things we're excited about. And one of the uses that I wanted to see, because we're finding, I get that some of this might have been overwhelming, but we're finding that, the Youth Ministry Cloud, it can be useful in a lot of different ways to a lot of different people, okay? So for some of you, you're like going, oh, I need to be able to message my kids, and I've got a long list, so I can't just use my phone. And so, that's going to be huge for me. Some of you are like, I just get overwhelmed. I'm music and youth and web designer, and so I need to I need that follow-up system. But for some of you, it may just be, I need a way to track this information. I've got kids on, index cards on my desk and it's scattered. I need to organize it. And for some of you, we've got their info, but I have no way to take attendance. And so I don't really know who's here and who's not and who's coming and who's not. And we think that's going to help you out. And so I really believe that, again, there's something that the cloud can do for you. And if you're not sure what it is, we would love to help you out with it. Now, I'm going to walk you through some next steps real quick. And then, if you want to stick around, I'm going to do this kind of bonus thing where I want to show you how you can kind of take this to the next level beyond just data, but also, I think, mixing in some discipleship and some outreach. So, next step, for one, download the app and sign up for the free trial if you have not done that. And I will show you really quick how this can work. Let me log out real quick for you. Okay? All right. Give me one moment. Okay. So, try that again. All right. Well, apparently I'm not going to. I apologize. It really wants me to be logged in. I guess because I'm logged on the other tabs. So you can actually just check a box when you go to the app that says I'm a new user, type in email, password, it's set up, you're good to go. Okay, so I just want you to know that's there. So I encourage you to download this app, sign up for free trial. Second, let us upload your kids. Again, if you need help with the spreadsheet or pulling the data, let us know. We can upload your students, your leaders for you, take care of that, take that off your hands, and so you're just up and running. Another thing, set up a time to hang out with us. Google Hangout, Skype. We want to walk you through either talking through and brainstorming how this could work for you or just maybe some other areas of ministry where you're stressed out. You can contact me, buckbaskin@gmail.com, and just be able to talk you through some things and through some of those options. All right. So just those kind of things that we always talk about next steps for our kids, and just I think those can be some next steps for you. Now I want to show you one last couple little pieces here. We have a curriculum option where we have a discipleship curriculum you can purchase from us. And then also if you purchase one of our Disciple Now curriculums at disciplenowcurriculum.com, that gets loaded into the system, not only for you so you can download it, but also your leaders are able to log in, see their lessons. This is a demo, so it's not going to work. So they can edit, take notes, save it. Everything is right there. Same thing with the discipleship curriculum. And so you can sit there and everything is digital. No more making books, chasing down binders, things like that. And so we're really trying to think beyond just data to discipleship. And so just know that these tools and things like that are readily available for you to, again, where you can edit, make changes, save it. So you don't have to make books, anything like that anymore. Chase stuff down, print, make copies. It's all taken care of. So I want you to see that. But there's one more thing that we can talk about. And again, if you're interested in this, please let us know. We'd love to talk to you about it further and have a conversation about how we can implement this with your ministry. We can also help you with implementing this ministry admin panel into your account to where you log in, you see this, and you put in basic profile info of your ministry, okay? Contact info if you've got a logo or an icon, but also you can add in events. Now we have 3 events that I'm putting in right here, but you can do more and more. So you can do that. You can also put in posts, all right? So basically like creating a blog post of announcements. If you've got Google Forms you need to embed of, hey, let's sign up for something, okay? And then we've also got a resources tab. Right now it's just for a gospel track. If you had a Disciple Now curriculum, that'd be added in, or discipleship curriculum would be added in. All those things are available. Now, you may think that's great. I can store my ministry's info, not just mine. But what's the point? Well, here's the point. You'll notice right here, this Town East. You also get a subdomain. And what that allows you to do is at either towneast.youthministry.online or studentministry.online, that custom subdomain is for your ministry. So that when your kids, your leaders, kids in your community are just searching on Google or seeing things on Facebook, they can pull up your info and you get this custom responsive layout website, okay, that populates with your info, your logo, the custom color, theme color that you chose, okay, slide out menus. And here's the deal. You can learn more about your ministry. Well, guess what? If you put your social media info, all your links in there, including if you have a YouTube channel, would populate as well. Those posts, they populate right here. So for example, we're promoting our D-Now right now, and you can see, you can tag a picture with it. The About page, you can see this is our ministry's logo, our contact info, the map on where we are. You can also see our weekly events. Then you can also see here it's got an Instagram feed. So if you've got an Instagram account, this populates there where your Instagram timeline is in there, which is a great, easy way to promote and your ministry and communicate to your kids. And we can walk you through that again if you want to do a hangout or email us. And so all that's there. You can also see I have the gospel checked. So what happens is now, if a kid goes to my page, I've said, I want them to see the gospel anytime a kid visits. And so I've got this gospel track here that I can swipe through where kids can read and hear and see the gospel right off the bat. And then there's also a contact form that, again, goes straight back to the email address that you set up to where kids can contact you and your ministry if they have questions, concerns, or they just want to know more information. So these are the things that we're talking about here. These are the options that we have where, again, we've got the cloud and you've seen the many tools, and hopefully you've gotten some ideas about how it can help you out. But then also this is kind of those next step we're taking where if you think you're ready to kind of take those even further steps, we want to help you take them. And through doing that, and like I said, one of them is that ministry admin panel where you can sit there and have a fully professional looking website that you can control and manage without any technical or coding experience, and have that just extra face for your ministry to help promote, reach out to kids, but also to share resources to help with that discipleship process for your visitors and for your member students. Just in closing, I'll let you know, our heart is to always continue to improve this and make it the best tool as possible for you. So we've kind of got this roadmap of things that are about to come out. One's going to be daily birthday reports, where you get an email notification of birthdays that you have that day, so you know who to reach out to. We're going to retool the reports and absentee follow-up to really give you control. Right now, it's got a lot of options, but I really want to give you control over getting everything that you need out of your data. A promote students button, so that say in May or August, however you do it, you can send those kids to the next grade level, and then promote your seniors out. So that kind of takes care of that for you. PDF postcards. So you've seen the mailing labels, to be able to allow you to kind of create and design some postcards so you can generate those, print them in a very simple format. Audio messages. Imagine all your kids, all your leaders, get a quick 15-second audio recording for you. Okay. Now, message tracking history. So again, we talked about, you can send messages, leaders can. We're going to put in some stuff to where you see the message history for your ministry, but also where you can kind of track how many were open, how many went to spam. So you can kind of see how effective your campaigns and your messages are being. So that info is there, but also to go, okay, this group's growing. I wonder why. And maybe you can go and look and say, well, that leader is sending emails and texts on a weekly basis. That's a good strategy. I need to share that with my other leaders. So those kinds of things are available. Custom student statuses. Again, we have memberships, disciple, active, and visitors. Just giving you some custom options there, because I know some of you word it differently, and that's fine. We want to help you be able to use that. Automated event alerts, just like the follow-up to let kids know, hey, don't forget such and such United or whatever it is tonight. And then finally, more resource integration. Be that small group outlines, curriculum. Even if you're using a different curriculum, we're going to be able to help you house that in our system so that your kids can log in and view it, your leaders can, and all that stuff. So again, thank you for the time. If you've got questions, let me double check and make sure no more fell in. I think I was able to answer them as I went through. So I think we took care of that. But if you have more, contact me, buckbaskin@gmail.com, or you can contact me via social media at YMCloud, or like us on Facebook. And we'll take care of that. Any way we can help you out as a ministry, we want to grow, help you with that, help this grow, because we truly do want it to be the all-in-one youth ministry management solution for you. Thank you again for your time. Thank you for checking it out. Go get the app, go check out the website, and let's see how we can partner together to grow your ministry.